And we are back. Round two. All right. So we're working on the towers here. Hey, Moonwitch. No. The stream didn't crash. I was on break and had to procure some beer. I'm ready for round two, though, so... I just noticed the time was 1:30, and I was like, well, I got to get down to the casino and buy some beer. So, yeah, I took a break, but since I left the house, I didn't leave the stream up, so. But I am back. And I am ready to crush through this painting. I'm going to try and finish it tonight, because I have this in the Hatter I'd like to drop off and get photographed tomorrow. Ice cold beer. Okay. But thank you for your concern. I did crash the stream, 2 nights ago? Or I didn't. I guess it was the crappy internet or whatnot, but... You know, internet I pay an exorbitant amount for gig service, and for some reason, it doesn't live up to its name all the time. But I am back. Let's get this tower inked in. Yeah, we can zoom a little. Cool, I will be here. Yes, I am back. Had to grab a PBR. Or 18. And so we're inking in these towers now in the desert. And I think I'm going to grind through. I'm going to push through and try and finish up this painting tonight. Figure out what I'm going to paint tomorrow night. I have some bourbon barrels that I need to do some tests on, some paint tests. Which once the tests are done and the barrels are photographed, I actually will convert them into, excuse me, barrels with characters on them and have them up for sale on the website. And these are the barrels. Little 2-liter bourbon barrels. They are cured. They do hold bourbon. And then I paint them up. I do have a bot. Occasionally. I think I just added the social thing. !social. If you want to try it and see if it works for me. What bot am I using? Whatever Stream Elements. Hey, look, it worked. I don't know if that... What's the other one? Nightbot that everyone uses? If you have a suggestion or... yeah, I'm all ears. I use Streamlabs myself. Okay. I'll check them out. I think I have an account with them, or I don't know. You know how it is when you start with a new thing. It's like, oh, I'll sign up for everything somebody mentions and then see what works. So, yeah, if you find that there's features on there that are a lot better, then I can hop over. Should we link some of this with that? People go, okay. Okay, perfect. I will amend that tomorrow. Thank you so much for all the advice and help with this. I personally dig it when people chime in. I know you said some people get cranky and whatnot, but you know, I'd rather know that I'm looking like a doofus or doing something wrong than have it just backfire. I'd hate to create all this beautiful work for you and then like not have it effectively put out online. All right, I am refreshed. That's all it takes is a little drive, the window open to go get some beer at the casino, that cold air. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, and I figure it's, you know, it's not too immensely complicated, you know. I think figuring out the audio settings for me was the was the toughest. Um, but I also, you know, even if I become a partner or whatnot, I don't intend on having like a bunch of bullshit up here on the screen. I just, you know, I know people have all sorts of overlays and things that are running crap along the bottom and bits and cheers and all that, but I think it distracts from the artwork a bit. So I don't know. If you have any thoughts on that? I mean, if people really need to see their name in lights. Past work slideshow, I like that. That's a great idea. Yeah, if that is a thing. Because that is one thing I was, you know, that's why I kind of kept the Mad Hatter piece next to me and was showing it occasionally. Because I know once I start a new piece, and the pencils can be kind of boring for people to look at, you know, sometimes, and I wouldn't want someone to leave the channel because pencils are ugly, or they have no idea what the finished product's going to look like. So I'm using OBS on a 27-inch iMac with, what is it, I Show You Audio to create the dual channel device so I can play the music and all that good stuff. So, but yeah, OBS. And I'm trying to think of cool ways to, because next week I'm going to be streaming on a 6-foot by 4-foot canvas, doing a big commission piece, so the camera will be, you know, focused on that. But I'm thinking of having the section of canvas I'm working on, I might have another easel next to it with a couple of finished paintings sitting next to it, so people can get the idea that, you know, this is what it eventually is going to look like. But yeah, if there's like a past work slideshow, that would be sick. Okay. Yeah, for sure, on donate or whatnot. Yeah, I'd more rather people go buy something on the site, you know, but yeah, if they want to donate, I understand people don't have, you know, if they only have $5-10 they want to throw, that's totally cool, and I appreciate it, but that's why I wasn't, you know, putting a lot of effort into the tip thing. But yeah, I was reading about all the non-refundable and the people doing all the fake shit and then charge back and all that, and which is one thing I really hate about PayPal, that they charge you $20 for a chargeback. It's like, okay, that's not my fault, but, and I've dealt with that with Square before. Yeah. But I think at least with what I have set up for the tips, I think that's through Stream Elements too, or I know they have some sort of disclaimer, I think, and they make people, I click the button to make people log in order to, or use their real Twitch or whatever. I don't know if that helps as far as the claim's concerned. Jeez, $1,600 in a hole. Yeah, I mean that's why I think it's a very inefficient system, like PayPal and all, and that's why I'm like, you know what? If you want to support me, go buy something on the website. There's $20 prints, there's $10 dab mats and dab rags. I mean, whatever, or little tapestries. So, yeah, I mean, I use Square quite a bit on the road. I mean, so I've dealt with chargebacks before, and yeah, they're a pain in the ass. And PayPal has one of the worst policies for chargebacks. And especially with the banks too. I mean, in fact, my sponsor had, or Genius Pipes had sent me a royalty check once, and for some reason it was connected to a PayPal that had some fraudulent charges. Somebody hacked them and ran up some charges. So mine ended up getting lumped in, and this like $700 chargeback occurred like 3.5 months after. It was almost at the 120-day mark, and I mean, first of all, it's like that, giving them that much leeway to go back on a check is like, I mean, to remember, have to go through all my records as far as, okay, what exactly happened 3.5 months ago. Most companies that pay me have one name that they use, and they're usually under a parent company or a holding company. So, of course, when it showed up with PayPal, it was like, who is this? But I did match the dollar amount with a royalty check, so I knew who it was, and then we found out it was fraud, and it was all taken care of. But still, just the fact that they can rip that shit out, and very little, protection for us. Okay, alright, I think this is coming out pretty groovy. Not to sit around and talk about PayPal chargebacks all night. But yeah, dropping in the kind of the plateaus that you see if you drive through like northern New Mexico or Arizona, if anybody's been out to like Bryce or Zion. Absolutely gorgeous areas of the country. A lot of streamers say self-promotion center, but say I stream unless the streamer much of business service. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I definitely, I'd like to keep it like promotion of artwork, your own personal art. But if you do stream, I don't mind if people self-promote. That's fine with me. I mean, the idea is to build up just get a nice little art community going and whatnot. Kind of help build up the creative section. Yeah, but I appreciate it, and definitely with streaming, if people, are kind enough to just say, hey, do you mind if I pop a link up or whatnot? Yeah, I know. I've been on streams before where people have, it's come up that I was an artist and they asked if I streamed, and I was like, well, I will, or can we see your art? And I said, well, if it's okay for me to pop a link up, I'll show you some art. And most people have given me permission, which is really cool. So Yeah, I would never just hop in a room and be like, "I'm here, motherfuckers. Check out my art." Little spacey track, I like it. Oh, how did I miss you? I could just do ink and line work all day long. Pop the canvas out. I know I've been putting a lot of pressure on it. And then when I'm done, I always run water on the back, and then it just stretches itself back out. Little trick, if you didn't know. Oh, awesome. Yeah, I've had a few people follow that, I've been on their stream and kind of chiming in and making sure I kind of promoted them before I hopped on. So, yeah, I was wondering about, and definitely hosting and whatnot. I gotta put a few people on there to host. So. Yeah, I'm gonna color the left eye. I was joking with Cigar Czar about that. He's like, man, when you put that eye in, that's really gonna pop because that's such a focal point. And I said, I was joking about just messing with him and leaving it for last. But yeah, he's kicking in, and I want to paint the eyeball green. Yeah, sometimes it's irritating too because I'm like, I used to be a real, God, it would just annoy me if anything was left white. Like if I got down to the last little bit and I'm like, I got to get that, finish all those white areas in because it's just driving me insane. So, yeah, it could be. I was going to do maybe an amber. I know his eyes were brown, but I do have a thing for green eyes. So green eyes and red hair, all the girls I paint have it. And so maybe we'll do green, but. Yeah, and in fact, yeah, something of I was maybe even a little purple or something. I don't know. There's so much like orange around them. I probably don't want to go that route of doing the amber. Oh, shit. And there goes my iPad again. Bear with me a minute. I gotta log back into my. I don't know why my iPad. The screen keeps going blank. It resets. Then I gotta go and log in again. So if anybody's writing anything in chat right now, I'm not able to see it. Hang on one second. I wonder if it has something to do with the battery being fully charged. Like, hey, asshole, unplug the battery. Excuse me. Alright, I'm back in chat. That's so weird. That's happened a couple times. It could just be like equipment failure, but First time it was funny because we were joking about Apple and how shitty it is to type on phones these days and the autocorrect and all that. And then right after that, my iPad just crashed. I thought I irritated it. Okay. Just kind of hit the side of the brush. Get that nice thick line. Alright. Like all that crunchy texture. Can I show you an eyeball pic? Yeah. Go to my website and check out the Cheshire cat that I did. I think the eyeballs are pretty stunning. The oddest request you're going to get with pay. Let's see here. Should I give Hunter some pretty makeup? Oh. That is a very cool eye. At first, the Pixar lady showed up, and I was like, oh, you want it to look like that lady? Very colorful makeup. Very cool. Thank you. I could give Hunter some eyeshadow. And Are we done with tunes? What's the deal? What's going on? Let's start this over again. There we go. I'm sure Hunter dressed in drag at one point. I know he's worn wigs and I don't go out much. Yeah, me neither. No need for makeup anymore. Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, my wife likes to wear like very just striking kind of, makeup and not. I mean, she's a natural beauty. She definitely doesn't need makeup, but occasionally she likes to toss it on when she goes out. But she makes it very unique. Definitely not what the other girls are rocking. Why? I missed this track last night. I really like it. There we go. You know what? I think maybe a pale blue eye. Because there ain't none of that shit around here. That actually might work very well. Um, kind of a just because. Not really a commission for somebody, but the Bourbon and Beyond Festival in September was requested like a Hunter S. Thompson piece featuring bourbon and him, and since he's from Louisville, so it's definitely a piece that I'm doing for that festival because it will do very well there. So I know you're not annoying me with the chatter yet. You know, I'm totally cool with the chat. I can paint and talk, and I think it just enhances the channel. So Cigar Czar and I had some pretty cool conversations early on in the part one tonight. I think we ran the gamut with art and politics and business and not too many politics though. We're not big on that. Nah, it's kind of like, when people come up to me when I'm live painting at a club or something, they're like, I hope I'm not bugging you. And I'd be like, or can I watch? And I'm like, well, I'd be a pretty shitty live painter if you couldn't watch me paint. Or say hi. Popping that shirt out. Let's have the shirt out so when I can go back in here, it'll be done. But it's also me wandering. Start with one area of the painting and then I end up on the other side of it. Uh, 41. I'll be 42 in August. And I sure as fuck don't feel it. Yeah, when I turned 40, I was just like, wow, this really doesn't feel like I've been on the planet that long. It feels very creepy and taboo to be 40. My eyes are flickering. There we go. All right. Love all the splattering. It's got a nice action, you know. A great aunt. Oh wow. It's all relative. Yeah. You know, it's kind of like my mom had me when she was 19, and that's kind of, oh my God, you know, had a kid so young, and I'm like, but I kind of like my folks being this young, you know. I mean, my parents literally just turned 60, so. And all my friends' parents that are, you know, older, I mean, they have parents that are 70, 75, 80 years old, and I'm like, hell no. My parents can still do shit. But yeah, and I remember turning 30 and I was like, man, like my 20s were cool. I mean, I lived in New Orleans for the first part of my 20s, so that was complete insanity. But my 30s were absolutely awesome. And then my 40s are just, you know, my art career is doing very well and I got a cool family and all that, so I can't complain. And I'm working a lot, and you know, so I don't have time to sit around and think about like getting old. Make sure I'm still focused here. Alright. And I believe it's all how you live your life too. I mean, I spend 4 months out of the year like selling art at rock shows and hanging out with the young people and listening to cool music, and I think that definitely helps keep me young, feeling it. I'll finish up these flowers before I hop back over to that last mountain. Oh wow. Sorry for your loss. Yeah, right? You definitely, when you hang out with those younger than you. Yeah, I just get annoyed usually. But then I think, you know what? I'm a professional artist. I'm creating what's cool. So fuck them. If they ever try and give me shit, but you know. But I think it's kind of refreshing too, like when I do hang out with someone who's 20 and they're just like bopping along and just being a complete ridiculous dork, and I'm like, okay, all right, now I went through that, and I don't blame them because that's what you're supposed to do in your 20s. Is just be ridiculous. But I'm glad there's a discernible difference between being in your 30s and 40s and being in your 20s. See, now you sound old. Kids are entitled and things. I'm kidding. But I do agree with you. Yeah. I go through that with my daughter all the time, and my son, you know, I mean, I have a 6-year-old and a 10-year-old, and it's like, you know, at this stage in their life, they may think daddy's kind of hard on them, but I'm like, you want something, you fucking earn it. I'm like, I will give you nothing for free. I don't care if I make $1 million off this art thing, like, until you prove to me that you're worthy of that, you know. I need to see some basic skills put to use. Stacking firewood, helping your mother out, like all the shit I had to do growing up. I'm just gonna darken that in. I think if I try and make it look like it's his hairy chest, it'll just look like I kind of fucked up. Alright, there we go. Yeah, but what you went through, I mean, that kind of strength, when you came out on the other end, that made you that much stronger, you know? I mean, in my 20s, it was, you know, I left home when I was 18, and I ended up in New Orleans for 3 years, and, I mean, I had people that were much older than me. I mean, I knew the Chicken Man, the King of Voodoo, I mean, you know, like all the street characters on Bourbon Street, and you know, and these were the type of people I sought out. I lived with gutter punks, and you know, I wanted to see that way of life. I wanted to see what life was like when the bank account wasn't always full, or you had to beg for change, or you had to sleep in an abandoned building, or you know. But just the wisdom of the older people that I hung out with was just invaluable. And what I've lived by since I left when I was 23. Plus, it was cool, super fun. New Orleans is an awesome town. Food's exceptional. A little hatching underneath this shirt collar here. I will bring that into the flour. There we go. All right, so we'll do this, and then I'm gonna drop an eye in, so we can calm your OCD, Moon. And as I'm detailing around it, it's starting to annoy me too. So I'm in the same boat. Ain't the freaking eye, man. Who do we have? Quaid, start the reactor. All right, bud. Thanks for the follow. I really appreciate it. Hope you're enjoying the stream. Unless you follow people you don't like. I'm kidding. There we go. Some areas will just do really fine lines, get it real crunchy in there. Yeah, I think I do have the alerts, but they're on my headset, and I don't I just don't have the ear thing in right now. But I do look at the I mean, I'm looking at chat pretty often, you know. I don't think I've kept you waiting too long for the chat, right? Response to answers. Yeah, I'll make up some custom gifts and all that stuff, and you know, eventually I'll probably outsource it to someone because I am just busy. No, like I said, I'm cool. Gotta keep it. It's merely a turn of the head. I keep the iPad pretty close, so. Yeah, no, it's cool. I enjoy. I like how, I mean, time flies. So I'm getting so much more work done in such a shorter amount of period when I'm not like just sitting here quietly painting and then I'm distracted by a YouTube video or, you know, so. Sorry for laying RL on the table. Am I, what? I don't think I get that. But I could be tired. Oh, real life. Oh. Using all those abbreviations. Fine. I think that's what we're doing here, right? Real life. Like, yeah, that's real. Yeah, no, that's cool. You know, that's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. Ooh, I like this track too. Yeah. Gamer speed. Yeah, no worries. I know some of the abbreviations. Some have changed though since the days of Yahoo Chat or AOL. I believe I remember that shit. Getting real kind of crunch down there. I think I'm gonna, let's go in with some thicker. In fact, let's go around these bourbon barrels. Make sure we got a nice thick border so that way they pop against this orange, since they are going to be brown and we want them to not blend in. Occasionally, yeah. I mean, if I put my mind to it, I can. I mean, I do a lot of, more of the, when I start off doing the painting his flesh tones in. It's a more traditional style of painting. I just haven't tried one in a while. Occasionally, I can pull off a portrait, albeit stylized, but if you know the show Sons of Anarchy, David LaBrava is a buddy of mine, and I met him through my friend Chase. He played Happy, and I just did a cover to Herb magazine back in February, I want to say, with him on it, and that was challenging. I don't do too many portraits, but it definitely had a more realistic feel to it. So, and I think it's on my Instagram. If you scroll down, you'll see a kind of a bald-headed dude with a snake coming off his head, because he's got a big snake tattoo on his head. And then I kind of mix in the surreal and the supernatural elements, of like his artwork, and he's a glass blower as well, so we focused on that aspect of it. Or aspect of his career, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would love to experiment with oils again. Maybe have just a little section in my studio that's dedicated to kicking around with some oil paints. I mean, the vibrancy is just insane with those. So I'd kind of like to try and adapt some of my technique to use an oil and see what comes about. All right, I like that. Really like how that green and that pink came out. Definitely gives it almost like a kind of a sci-fi nature to it, like an old B movie. Let's paint an eyeball. I almost wanna this teal, but I almost don't. Let's go with my color most of it in anyway, but and then let me let's see. No, I don't want to sign up for a fucking newsletter. We'll do the blue. You know what though? The trusty PBR lunchbox. Let's see if we can't find a gray that I like, and I'll shade in the eye first. Oh, look at that gray, right on top. It's as if I called it and it swam to the top. Oh shoot, wash this brush. Okay. That shadow in there. Boom. All right. Let's go with this brush. Favorite type of music. You know, I grew up like an old rivet head. I love industrial music. I mean, I grew up with KMFDM and Ministry, Nine Inch Nails. I like it if it's a little dancey. And then when I moved to New Orleans, I got into a little more jazz and swing and stuff like that. I got pretty varied music tastes, but I always go back to those guys. You know, I mean, I grew up, high school in the '90s, so I had grunge and all that as well. But you know, this stuff's pretty chill to. Sugar's techno is pretty chill to paint to, so that's why I don't mind it. How about you? There is some decent stuff coming out, I think, today. I don't know. There was a time between like late '90s when music started to die, and and the first part of 2000s when music was just horseshit. I was like, wow. So I really spent like a lot of time just listening to bands that were 30 years plus, 20 years old, 30 years old. I just couldn't find anything. But nowadays, there's some stuff coming out, but a lot of it's like weird. Like a spastic metalhead. Yeah, I can, dig on some metal and some. I just like that, I never, it took me a while to get into straight metal because I really like synthesizers. I really like all the crazy machine noises and stuff that went into like Throbbing Gristle and Psychic TV and all the early industrial bands, Pigface and whatnot. And then when I actually used to tour on Metal Mayhem and sell art there, and that's when I actually like started listening to a lot more metal and Guza Emanama. I love them. They're freaking awesome. Anybody who brings a Viking ship on stage is okay in my book. Where is that? Yeah, but there isn't really. Okay. Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah, the guys over, there's a podcast named Honest Brutality. They're buddies of mine out of Redding, California. They put in an awesome podcast. And it's all metal. See some white. I'm just popping in a few highlights here and there. Just cause. You have a steady streaming schedule, Moon, or are you just on randomly, or? I forgot if I had asked that or you had answered that before. So I'm gonna ask again. Thursday at 7:30. Oh, okay, okay. So tomorrow. See if I can't jump on and check it out. Ugh. One down. All right. So I'm just putting a few little highlights in, just so I can make a few things pop. I'll get some ink out and let's see. Finish up that eye. The eye. Keep this side pretty choppy. Put a few little flare lines there. His eye not completely cracked out. At least he has an eye now. Touch up a little bit where I put that white. It's all about going over and over and over and over again. Ooh. All right. Oh, we can put the smoke in. Yeah. Let's Let's do that. Smoky, smoky. Touch of water. Mostly paint. And again, we'll go over the black lines. Doesn't matter. Hazy effect, and we'll go over them again anyway. Touch of water. There we go. That clicking sound in the song. I hate when I hear songs and I'm like, I think it's like a noise in the studio, and it's just like one of the background sounds. What the fuck is that? Go. And I'll hit that again with the black ink and outline some of it. Get down in here. My schedule's up. It's on my feed. Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. I hop on, 9-ish. And then weekends varies. But I'm trying to get a good solid, like, 4 to 5 hours of streaming in every night, which means 4 to 5 hours of painting. So I'm, cranking out a good amount of work. But I should have that little countdown thing on there. Like a mouse clicking. Some of the white there. In fact, the tip of a cigarette, I could actually put some orange blacklight reactive paint on it and probably look pretty cool. It glows. It's shiny. I like it. I like how the smoke contrasts with this pink here. It's pretty dope. And the actual cigarette. I got some gray pulled out too, don't I? Let's get this. Let me water down a little bit of this gray. Just a little kiss. Cool. Don't mind them being a little dirty. See that back color kind of smudging in there, but that's all right. He's been partying. Probably has a dirty shirt. Cool. Thanks for hanging out, Moon. And yeah, if you're on tomorrow, I'll try and jump on and check out your stream. And if not, I will definitely be painting tomorrow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I know sleep sounds amazing right now. If I'm sure you don't get too mad at the painting and starts to argue with. Nice. Thank you so much. Yeah. No, I won't fight it. If I get tired and it's time to stop, I will. I won't force it. Cheers. I'm so stoked on how it's coming out, though. I just want to keep working. Bourbon barrels. All right, let's get a little inky ink. Oh, did I smear something? No, okay. Feel some paint sticking to the bottom of my hand. smells everywhere. Itchy ear. There we go. Curl it. There we go. That's cool if the brush splits too. That kind of just adds to the randomness of the smoke. Yummy, yummy. It's cool too. Two paintings next to each other. Yeah. This was the Hatter painting. I don't know if anybody watching right now wasn't here earlier, but that's the painting we did, or we. I am getting tired. I did over the last 3 nights. So the new Hatter piece. Ripping out. There we go. Get this little bopper up here. All right. I've been on for another hour and 15. Cool. There we go. Okay. And then let's redefine the cigarette. go. Break here and admire it for a minute. Look how desolate it is back here. It's not like he's on the ground driving in his red car with his attorney into Vegas. It's literally he's hanging off the edge of a canyon. The bourbon's just flying in. Yeah. All right. I want to say I'm going to finish the bourbon barrels tomorrow. Yeah. I don't want to jump in just yet. That's a lot of detail on these little turkeys that need to be done with a bit of sleep under my belt. So, for now, Mr. Hunter S. Thompson has got the bat wings in tonight, finished up his shirt, got his eye in, did the smoke, dropped in this background, and then did the towers of the painted desert. And then tomorrow night we'll bang out these barrels, or I'll do them in the morning and get them off to be photographed. So if I do decide to do that, then I might be streaming in the morning. If you're following, I'm sure you'll get a notification. But thanks, guys, for hanging out tonight, and I really appreciate it. Had a great night. Had my first raid, had a bunch of new followers, had some good people hosting, and I'm glad there's some support for the more traditional medium. As you know, I know there's not a lot of it on Twitch right now, so I'm definitely here to help beef that up. Yeah, and any thoughts or comments on the stream, please, Sean at SeanDietrichArt.com is my email, at Sean Dietrich Instagram, Sean Dietrich Art Facebook, and then SeanDietrichArt.com is my website, and all that is on my profile page. So thank you, guys. I'm going to hop off and go lurk on some other people's pages, finish my beer, and I'm going to get some sleep. So enjoy the rest of your evening. Where's my beer? Cheers.